Say, you don't happen to see any spooky ghosties around these spare parts now, do ya? No? Okay, good.
Luigi's Mansion, a game even scarier than Slenderman, Five Nights at Freddy's and Baldi's Basics combined. This here is Luigi's first ever good game, aside from released on September 14th, 2001, for the Nintendo GameCube. This game truly showed exactly what the GameCube was capable of doing. For a console that didn't really do all that well in terms of sales, it still had a lot of great games on it, and Luigi's Mansion is no exception. I guess you could say it's basically a ripoff of Ghostbusters, Scooby-Doo, or Casper. But hey, at least they were trying to be original here.
So, the game's questions are, is Luigi's first good game actually good? Is it actually a real survival horror game? Is it truly as scary as some people may claim it to be? And how the heck did Luigi end up getting his own mansion in the first place? Well, on with the spook.
The game starts off with Luigi walking through the deep, dark woods, knowing that he just won himself a mansion in a contest. Even though he never actually entered the contest, he eagerly tells Mario all about the mansion, and the two of them agree to meet up outside of it on that evening. Luigi takes a flashlight with him as he follows a map to the mansion. When he finally arrives, he realizes that Mario is nowhere to be found. He then enters the parlor of the mansion after he grabs a key from a strange, ghost-like shape, which kind of looks like floating orange juice to me.
I love me some orange juice. Yummy.
When Luigi enters the parlor, he is eventually jump-scared by an orange ghost, only to be saved by an old man with a vacuum cleaner in his hands. But unfortunately, he failed to capture the orange ghost, and it escaped into nothingness. After being helped to his feet by Luigi, the old man introduces himself as Professor Elvin Gadd, or E-Gadd for short.
Get it? E-Gadd, as in the Scream? Huh? No? Wow, tough crowd.
The two of them then escape from the mansion, and into E-Gadd's laboratory, when even more orange ghosts appear right out of left field. In the laboratory, E-Gadd explains to Luigi how his newly won mansion is obviously not the work of something from the real world, since it only appeared a few nights right before this game takes place. As Luigi further explores the mansion, he soon discovers that it was built by King Boo, in order to shelter the now freed portrait ghosts. E-Gadd says that he captured these ghosts in the past, and trapped them in paintings, using a device called the Ghost Portrificationizer.
Now try saying that 5 times fast. Portrificationizer, 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 portrificationizer. Well, that was an attempt.
The ghost sent Luigi the supplied photo and map, in order to lure him into a trap. Oh hey, that rhymes. Cool. But anyways, E-Gadd then tells Luigi that he recently saw somebody with a red cap walk into the mansion, but he never saw him since then. I think we can all guess exactly who that's supposed to be. And no, it's not me, in case you were wondering. But anyways, when E-Gadd finds out that the red-capped man, aka Mario, was actually Luigi's older brother, he allows him to take over his duties of ghost catching, and gives him his powerful vacuum cleaner called the Poltergust 3000.
Get it? Poltergust instead of poltergeist? Huh? Huh? No? Wow, another tough crowd. Seriously, how boring can this place get?
E-Gadd also gives Luigi a multi-purpose invention called the Game Boy Horror, which allows him to communicate with Luigi on a tiny screen that he carries around with him.
Huh. Kind of reminds me of an iPhone. Huh? That's it! I just realized! Nintendo predicted the iPhone! My life is complete!
And that's basically the whole entire story of this game. Now sure, I know it may seem a little complicated to you, but if you put on SpongeBob's thinking cap, well, if you have it of course, then I'm sure you'll piece it all together in no time at all.
Man, I wish I had a Poltergust 3000 as well, so I can suck up some ghosts too. But since ghosts don't actually exist, the chances of that happening are pretty slim.
The main game is played out over 4 stages, or as the game calls them, areas. You are also able to access a training room and a gallery in E-Gadd's laboratory in between areas as well. In each area of the mansion, you control Luigi as you explore the mansion's many rooms, and hunt down all of the ghosts that lay within them. You can also collect certain keys in order to open locked doors. You eventually have to deal with a boss ghost hidden at the end of each area, along with even more rooms becoming accessible as each area is completed. In order to assist Luigi in his task, you use a flashlight along with 2 inventions that were supplied by E-Gadd himself. The first invention is the Poltergust 3000, which is a specially modified and highly powered vacuum cleaner that can suck up ghosts lurking in the mansion. The second invention is the Game Boy Horror, which is a parody of the Game Boy Color. It's used in order to communicate with EGAD, like I said, just like an iPhone.
Huh. Looks like Nintendo predicts quite a lot of things. Just like The Simpsons. I wonder if they're related. Maybe they're cousins. But who knows? It's a conspiracy, man.
In order to capture ghosts, you must first use your flashlight to light up the ghost and stun it, revealing their heart. Oh, and just so you know, it's not a real heart, so you don't have to worry about being scarred for life. When this happens, you use the Poltergust 3000 to suck them up, right before they fade away, while steadily reducing the ghost's hit points to 0. The more hit points the ghosts have, the more time it takes for them to be captured, giving them a chance to break free, while leaving yourself even more exposed to being harmed. In the bottom left corner of the screen is your HP meter, and if it's reduced to 0 from being hurt by the ghosts, then it's game over for you.
Wah, 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 wah.
As soon as a ghost's HP is reduced to 0, it gets captured. However, some ghosts can't be captured easily, if not at all, until you locate all 3 special medallions: fire, water, and ice, all hidden in treasure chests all throughout the mansion. Each one of them grants the Poltergust 3000 with the ability to suck up certain elements from the rooms, and use them in order to capture special or elemental ghosts lying within the mansion, which can only be captured with the specific elements of the Poltergust 3000. In addition to capturing the regular ghosts in the mansion, you must also draw out special portrait ghosts in some of the other mansion's rooms as well. Each one requires a condition to be met in order to make them available for you to capture them. As soon as all of the ghosts in the room are captured, its lights somehow magically turn on. The music also changes after this happens as well, being pleasantly whistled by Luigi himself. But when the music has a haunted and spooky tone to it, Luigi hums very nervously to the tune. You can also press A to call out for Mario as well, and Luigi's call all depends on the amount of HP he has. Now I gotta admit, those were some nice touches, I gotta say.
Now unfortunately, I do find it kind of unfair that Luigi can whistle, but I can't, even though I've been practicing for years on end now. I know he's a fictional character, but I can still somehow relate, so...
Utilizing the Game Boy Horror, you can access a multi-layered and 3-dimensional map of the mansion, showcasing exactly which rooms you have already visited, which rooms are open, and which ones remain locked, all by color code. When you find a key during your explorations of the mansion, the Game Boy Horror automatically indicates exactly which door it unlocks. In addition to a map function, it also keeps track of any treasure that you find hidden all throughout the mansion, and you'll want to collect as much of it as possible. I'll explain why later on.
Wow, so apparently, this mansion has tons of cash hidden inside of it. Man, Wario must be really jealous of Luigi right about now.
The treasure consists of coins, dollars, gems, diamonds, and gold bars. Wowza! These things are hidden within items and even in treasure chests that appear when all of the ghosts are cleared out of a room. You can also find keys in these chests as well, which is where most of the keys in the mansion are located. You can suck up the treasure in order to collect it faster. But don't worry, it won't get all shredded up in the Poltergust 3000. Unlike the ghosts, of course. But if a ghost hurts you, you'll drop a small portion of your collected treasure, and you'll need to recover it all before it disappears. Or don't, it's up to you. After you encounter a group of boos hiding in the mansion, the Game Boy Horror can be used in order to find each one hiding in a room in the mansion, with a beeping sound and a flashing yellow light in the top left corner of the device, which flashes red whenever you're close to one. But if a room doesn't contain any boos at all, then the light remains blue and non-flashing.
Now, if the non-flashing light was green instead of blue, then the Game Boy Horror would kind of resemble a traffic light. Huh. I wonder why they didn't make it like that. Maybe they're colorblind, and Luigi is actually meant to wear blue. But who knows?
Oh, and remember, the flashing light is only for capturing boos, not regular ghosts, so try to keep that in mind. There's a grand total of 50 boos in the whole entire mansion, but you only need to capture at least 40 of them in order to beat the game. Boos can only be located in rooms that have become lit after the ghosts have already been cleared out. But boos are even trickier to deal with than regular ghosts, however, since they can plant decoys and traps, such as explosive bombs and bouncy blue balls, within certain objects in the mansion, which can fool the Game Boy Horror, and you, into thinking that it's a real boo. Boos will also try to escape into other rooms if they can, forcing you to have to chase after them from time to time.
Man, I wouldn't want to be like Luigi and always have to live in this mansion all the time. And to think that this haunted building was given away in a flippin' contest! Inconceivable!
You can also use the Game Boy Horror to scan certain objects in the mansion and learn all about them. But if you use it to scan a mirror, it somehow magically teleports you all the way back to the main room of the mansion, the foyer.
Downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral.
After a stage, or area, of the mansion is completed, or after defeating a boss ghost, of course, each area's portrait ghosts are restored to their paintings by Professor E. Gadd, which you can view in his laboratory's gallery. Each portrait ghost's painting has a special frame all around it that varies from bronze, silver, and gold. The frame's color depends on how well you capture the portrait ghost. At this point, a results screen reveals all of the portrait ghosts that you have managed to capture, along with the total amount of treasure that you have recovered in that specific area of the mansion. After numerous confrontations and challenges with so many ghosts, portrait ghosts, boss ghosts, Boo's puzzles, and locked doors, you eventually confront King Boo, the final boss of the game, who has trapped Mario inside of a painting, just like the portrait ghosts, hung in a secret altar in the basement of the mansion, called, surprise surprise, the Secret Altar.
Yeah, I bet you weren't expecting that name now, were you?
When you walk up to King Boo, he turns Mario's painting into a Bowser portrait. Then, Bowser sucks you into the painting, even though he's not Kirby or King Dedede. Because of this, you then end up in the final boss arena, which is basically just the mansion's roof, with the fiery background all around it, so it makes everything look like, well, you know. But just so you know, this isn't actually the real Bowser. Instead, King Boo uses this lifelike Bowser suit as a puppet from the inside.
So does this mean that Bowser has been taxidermied by King Boo? Now, that's kinda creepy if you really think about it. But then again, this is a scary game, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But still.
Using spiky, explosive, and metal bombs thrown by the Bowser puppet, you can find a way in order to blast off the suit's head, and eventually vacuum up King Boo, causing the Bowser suit to collapse, since it no longer has any more control from King Boo. After this is accomplished, you then return to E. Gadd's laboratory with Mario's painting, and successfully extract him from within it, using the Ghost Portrificationizer in reverse.
Because everybody knows that everything works backwards in reverse.
King Boo is then turned back into a painting, along with all of the other area's portrait ghosts as well. The end of the game showcases the haunted mansion disappearing. After E. Gadd gathers all of the treasure that Luigi collected during his spooky adventure all throughout the mansion, he uses it in order to build Luigi a new and non-haunted mansion, directly on the site of the original version. The size of the brand new mansion all depends on exactly how much treasure you have gathered right before the end of the game. And that's why all of the treasure is very important in this game.
Wow, who knew that E. Gadd was both a scientist and a construction worker as well? Gee, it sure must be tiring having two jobs at once. But I'm sure E. Gadd is probably used to it by now.
After you beat the game for the very first time, a second mode of the game is offered, called the Hidden Mansion. In this mode, the whole entire mansion appears as a reflection of the previous version, with bosses being made even more difficult, ghosts and portrait ghosts being even trickier to capture, and even more ghosts being in some of the rooms of the mansion. You also get a yellow star in the bottom right corner of the screen, to let you know that you beat the game for the very first time, in case you forgot.
And now for the flaws. Let's get to them before my flashlight runs out of batteries.
The first flaw that I have with this game is its short length. You could probably beat it in around 2 or 3 hours, maybe less. I kind of wish this game was a bit longer. Maybe the developers could have made the mansion bigger with more rooms in it, or something like that. I don't know. The second flaw with the game is the Hidden Mansion mode. Now, there's nothing wrong with the actual mode itself, but after you complete it, it just repeats itself over and over again, without any changes whatsoever. I kind of wish this mode would shake things up a bit every time you completed the mode. Maybe they could change the color of the ghosts, or make them and Luigi have either more or less HP, or something like that. I don't know. The third and final flaw is that when there's a lot of ghosts in a room, they make all these random noises all the time, and it can get pretty annoying after a while. I know that the ghosts in the mansion make all these sounds just to be scary, but when you have so many of them all in just one room, then that's where things all go downhill from there.
So yeah, not as many flaws as Mario 64. So does that mean this game is even better than that one?
Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a great game, but it just doesn't hold up as well as Mario 64. You see, with that game, it first introduced Mario to 3D gaming, but since this game is already in 3D, you can kinda see where this is all headed. Sure, it has a brand new concept of capturing ghosts in a haunted mansion and whatnot, but it wasn't really anything game-changing or revolutionary. So with that being said, I'm giving Luigi's Mansion a solid 78 out of 100 Mario hats. Again, this isn't a bad game, far from it. It just wasn't really anything that shocked or awed. But despite all of this, I would still highly recommend this game. It can be pretty fun at times, so give it a try whenever you can. I'm sure you'll get a real kick out of it. Or should I say, a real spook out of it. Yeah.
Okay guys, so next time we meet, we'll be taking a look at Super Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube. So, pack your sunscreen, sunglasses, and bathing suits, because this game's a real hot one, I mean, yeah, I gotta say. Oh no! Looks like my flashlight ran out of batteries. Now all the ghosts are gonna get me! Oh no! What was that? Oh hey! What do you know? The power's back on! It's a Christmas miracle! Man, it's so bright in here now. Almost as bright as the beautiful and sunny weather in this game. So stay tuned for that. Oh, and remember, gaming is not a crime. See you guys then.
Luigi has officially redefined the physics of gravity. And then he jumps into another dimension. Gee, I wonder how his scientific skills will impress me next. Never mind, that window is off by about 45 degrees. Jeepers peepers! That definitely wasn't excruciatingly loud at all.
Say what?